Okay, I'm gonna wait until I know I'm online. I'm not sure if I'm connected right now or not very well. So I want to make an opening statement. If it doesn't pick it up, I don't know how much it picks up when I lose connection. So anyway, I had a power outage here, and it's back on. Um, I don't know how long it tripped once again tonight. That's not good. Something's wrong. I need to figure out what it is. Whether it's the wiring, where the wiring is. There's my. See, that's electric. That's really the only tell, other than the heater not coming on now. I don't have anything over here. But yeah, I do. There's that thing over there. It's an ion generator. If I glance over there and didn't see the green light and that little green light up there, that's a Schumann resonance generator. So I got an ion generator. I can tell from the little green light and the other little green light and then the blue light. But that's the only way I would know if the power's out. Now, right now the heater's running. I don't know if you can hear that, but that turns on about every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. So anyway, heat's back on. I'm okay for a minute, for a while, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I wish it was live where we get. Okay, I'm gonna get my tablet on. I think it's on. Yeah. Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna get the tablet on, turn the Wi-Fi on. I can put it up higher, and I hope maybe that'll keep me from dropping signal every 2 minutes. And it'll just start over basically because I have no idea if anything's picked up, what's picked up, or what anything. So give me a few minutes. Please be patient with me. Please be patient with me. God isn't finished with me yet. I don't know if y'all heard this one. I am not now what once I was, nor am I what I want to be. But what I am by grace, and when I see him face to face, I shall be like him perfectly. It's a beautiful poem, whatever you want to call it. Could be a hymn, could be a song. Okay, Wi-Fi's on. I should be connected now. I should be all right. Okay, I'm going to take this down and set it up higher. Yes, it's up there. You can see it. Oops, my light fell. Or my ambient light, background light. Okay, so now what's wrong? Oh, usually that tips out a little bit. Here, I got a clip here. Clipper dipper. Maybe that'll help. Not okay. What else? Got to do some last minute adjustments here. That's pretty good. All right, another clip would be nice, but oh well. We'll deal with it. We'll have to live with it. Okay, so yeah, several things happened during this whole escapade, adventure, I guess you'd say it, saga from last night. I don't know what time it was. It was late, 10 or 11. I don't know what time it was, but all of a sudden, boom, the power went out. So I assumed that the power was out. That they had an outage. Somebody hit a pole or, whatever, a fire, whatever the usual is, ice. Somebody hits a pole and drops the power. Anyway, that's what I assumed it was. So I fiddled around. I watched videos, and I did streamed. I think, yeah, I streamed that one time. The first one where I said survival tips and whatever, shelters. And then I was about ready to go to sleep, and it was maybe midnight. So I called the power company. I thought, well, I'll call the power company and make sure they know. I said, I'm sure you've gotten lots of calls. And they said, no, we haven't gotten any calls. Where do you live? I told them, and they said, no. Let me ping the meter. The guy says, let me ping the meter. He pinged it. He said, it's fine. I'm like, okay, so my breaker drip propped. That's good and bad. I almost would preferred it was the other thing. Because as it turned out, this finally about 3 o'clock this afternoon, I got up and because I needed to sleep. I needed to sleep about 8 hours. Well, I didn't get to sleep till 7 o'clock in the morning. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So I got up about 2, woke up about 2, and I was feeling okay to get up. Because normally I get up, I exercise, and if I haven't gotten enough sleep, I can't. I mean, I'm just like a walking vegetable. And if I do that too much, then that's when I had the stroke last time. Twice I've had strokes when didn't get any sleep the night before, and in the heat and stuff. So stress, stroke, stress, lack of sleep, heat, cold, you know, um, people being angry with me, that type of thing that causes stress. Somebody screaming in my face, causes stress, and that's jacks my blood pressure, and so it's not good. And it was dangerous. So anyway, I felt okay, so I got out and flipped the breaker back on, and it tripped once again tonight. So, but looking at it, there's where I had a heater plugged in. Well, I've been working on that grow bag thing with a impulse PFS, a plastic film sealer. That's the kind of PFS is the name for them. They call it an impulse sealer. Well, I think it was a 2-prong plug, and I got two. One with a 3-prong plug, and they said, "Oh, ours are safer. It's got 3-prong plug. Like cheap ones only have a 2-prong." Well, I used that 2-prong one. I think it built up too much heat, and it damaged the outlet. So then I had the heater plugged in. Well, the heater, something happened. The wire shorted out, and it fried. I mean, it blew the plug. It melted one of the blades on the power plug down. I mean, I got it out, and then I went to plug it into another place, and I couldn't plug it in. I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it's half of it's gone. Half of one of the blades is gone. So not good. I got to replace the plug and replace the outlet, and hopefully it's okay. I'll have to have somebody that knows what they're doing to do that. I mean, I can maybe do it, but anyway, so not good, not good, not good at all. Because fires is, they say our friends are fire department down in Arkansas, and the saying is down there is like, if you can't get to a mobile home fire within 5 minutes, just bring hot dogs. In other words, it's too late. I have here two here side by side burned out cast iron cookware and the stove that he had welded up himself, real heavy metal, and his stove, and they use them. They're still using them, but everything else, I mean, family heritage went back that far, and it looked like a beautiful, ornate, gorgeous chest, looked like a treasure chest. So everything slag, yeah. British Brookfield, stainless steel British Brookfield, couldn't even tell where it was. Gone, just everything just completely annihilated. Except for the cast iron cookware was fine, and the big metal stove was fine. So, moral of the story: do not have a fire in a mobile home or a trailer like this. So, soon to put it open the closet where the door bag, the one that I used last night. So I threw it up here. It was barely enough, get enough. I mean, it was too big. It was stand. That's what my phone is on right now. So it turned into a little bit of a mini survival experience, and a lot of things. I crawled under the cabin here, and then I was under so much sleep deprivation and stress. It was very, very difficult. So, um, and then I was hauling wood for my trailer, two stoves over at John's house, the cabin stove, two of the wood for two times in the dark and cold. I'm tired. I'm just dragging, dead tired, and I'd be. Oh boy. Okay, so I have no idea. Good grief. If anybody's on this is anybody on this been listening? What was I talking about when yeah, you're cutting out. Okay. Ooh, battery. Darn. It's me. Hi, it's me. Oh, come on. Come on. Plug in. Plug it in. Just put my phone in. Hang on. Come on. Know why it's so hard to plug a phone in with my left hand? Left hand's retarded, Okay, I gotta put a clip in here again. There we go. Maybe that'll work. Okay. So I have no idea. I was talking. I wasn't watching the screen, so I don't know. Have any idea how much of that got recorded or how much anybody heard or not. If anybody who was on when, if you could tell me when I, Jack, if you could tell me when I dropped out. You're cutting in and out. Okay. Buffering. Okay. Yeah. Matthew. So you can start now. I'm here. Okay. Matthew's here. We can start now. Yeah. Actually, that's probably what's going to happen here. Um, Here's a new one. Grant Bennett. How are you doing? I like this. Grant Bennett 333. My gosh. Do you have any idea, Grant, what that means? Why'd you use 333? Well, maybe I'll start over. I don't know. No, I don't want to start it all over. I don't have no idea how much I got out there. Anybody can tell me where I cut out last time. Let me know. I had my eyes closed and I was just talking, what I normally do, but I don't know why it's buffering. It should be on the tablet, so let me see if I can check on that without getting disconnected. It's not cutting off anymore. Okay, good. Leah or Jack, do you have any idea what I was saying when it cut off last time, though? I'm going to try to pick up my train of thought and continue because I wanted to cover some things. Maybe they're more important than what I was saying. I was just recapping, the Airstream, and what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and get the fire uh, fire ready to light, and I may go ahead and light it up, and then just keep it running. It's easier to keep them running than to start them, so it's kind of a big pain in the neck to get kindling and do all that. Now, top lit updraft fire, which I do, I've been thinking that through, and I'm going to plan that I'm going to try something different, but I'm going to work on that tomorrow. Get it ready. That way, if this happens again, I can just dip over there. And we're going to have another cold snap here with a really weird storm. Another bizarre storm. I don't know if it's a snowmageddon or a polar vortex again, but we're having a big storm. It's going to hammer most of Missouri, so who knows what's going to happen. We'll try to be readier for that one than I was for this one. I'm glad it wasn't the night before. It was really cold that night. I actually got cold. First time ever I got cold. That was not good. It got down low, and I don't know what the deal was. I forgot to shut the door. It was one door between the bedroom and the rest of the trailer. And anyway, no big deal. But I got cold. I mean, it got pretty brutally cold in here. I don't know where my laser gun is, so I can't even check it right now. Anyway, okay, so I'm just thinking through all the things I wanted to do. But in the course of this, several things happened. I had to get in that sleeping bag. I had about 3 minutes to get in that sleeping bag because I knew I couldn't lose my body core temperature. If that goes down, then and all night my feet were pretty cold all night. I was able to sleep, but they never warmed up until morning. I just started slapping them and kicking them. I should have done that during the night. Just kind of pretend like clapping your hands, you clap your feet like that. I was just, one on top of the other, one on top of the other. I did that and that warmed them up. I should have done it sooner than that. I've had experience with a lot of stuff before, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Nothing critical, nothing life-threatening. It could have been. Anyway, I knew I had to get in the sleeping bag, so I did that, and I bundled up, and I was okay. But I want to talk about a few things in the course of this, because there's some survival things here that everybody here listening to may very well be faced with at some point in time. Okay. Now, this is real life stuff. Okay, we're talking when the shit hits the fan. You got to know how to handle yourself. You got to know how to do things. You got to know how to live and survive in those situations. Whether you're on the road, or you're at a new property, or you're homesteading, or whatever, you're off grid. Whatever it is, you may end up in a situation where you need to be able to know what to do. Okay. And like I said, the number one rule of survival is be where you are at. You've got to force your brain, your mind, to be where your body is. You can't just go, I'm in panic. I got to get something to eat. You don't have to get anything to eat for 3 weeks. You go shopping 3 weeks from the time you first get lost or get hurt or get injured. You don't need to eat. You need shelter. That's the number one thing. You need shelter. You got 3 hours to find shelter. You got 3 days to find water. You get 3 weeks to find food. So, number one rule is shelter. That's your critical thing. And if you get lost or you get separated from somebody, do not leave where you were. Don't go walking around, wandering around, trying to find your way out. Don't walk away. Don't go away from your vehicle. Do not go away from your vehicle. Stay with your vehicle. Stay at the campsite where you were. Don't go wandering around. Don't try. If you're lost, stay where you're at. Don't get more lost. It's a lot easier to find a vehicle than it is to find a person wandering around. I've been watching a lot of the off-road recovery stuff out in Utah. Matt's off-road recovery, and this guy and two women who were stuck. They made the call. They left their vehicle, tried to walk out. Bad mistake. They didn't die or anything, but they found them. But they're like, oh gosh, it's a whole lot easier to find a vehicle than it is to find three people walking off in the desert. It's hills and everything. It was just watch some of the videos. It's just a nightmare out there. Not a nightmare, but it's a paradise of four-wheeling and rocks and formations. You could be anywhere out there, and rattlesnakes and stuff. Who knows what all kind of critters. There's scorpions out there, obviously. So you don't want to be wandering around not knowing what you're doing, and at least stay with your vehicle is all I'm saying. Stay with your vehicle. If you get lost, vehicle gets broken down, stay with it. Don't leave the vehicle. You make a call, stay there. Don't go wandering around. If you have no other option than to go out because your cell phone doesn't work, that's one thing. Okay, I understand that, but otherwise stay with your vehicle. Do not leave the vehicle. Okay, so survival situation, reality, cold hard facts. I'm 67 years old, and you drink. You got to stay hydrated. If you don't stay hydrated, you're gonna die. I could have a lot of issues that happen if I get dehydrated. I was at a exercise facility for heart and stroke victims. I'd had a heart attack. I was recovering from a heart attack, and there's an old guy there, a guy who's about 80 years old, and he's all shriveled up and stuff. And I asked him about hydration, and he says, "Well, I don't drink water at night because I have to get up and go bathroom." I said, "Dude, just get a bottle, pee in a bottle. Just don't get out of bed. Just get a bottle." And I said, "You're killing yourself. You're dying of dehydration. Your body is 99% water by molecular count. Do you understand that? 99%, because the number of water molecules are so much smaller than all other molecules in the body that your body is 99% water. It's 50 to 75% water, yeah, by volume, but by the number of molecules in your body, you're 99% water. Don't shortchange yourself. Your brain needs water. Your kidneys need water. Your heart needs water. Every cell of your body needs water. You have interstitial fluid and whatever. There's 2 oceans of water inside your body. Some are inside the cells, and those are outside the cells. Keep them hydrated, otherwise you won't stay alive very long. So anyway, that's one thing. So you got to get in the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Well, I don't get up to go to the bathroom. I got bottles, urinals. Well, last night I had been really cold, so I can't pour them into the holding tank because it'll freeze and break something. So I pour them down when they go out to the bucket, and then I deal with the bucket. Just the liquid. I don't use it for number 2. But anyway, I'm just trying to be realistic here. I had to pee several times during the night, normal, so I had a bottle. My backup bottle, my dump bottles were filled up. So I had 2, Walmart type urinal bottles. I think I got one here. Should have one right here. Yeah. And my backup one. I got to show you my backup one. Just these type of things. It's plastic. And they work. Now, what Bill's used for years, for decades, when he's out driving, delivering school buses and semis, laundry bottle, right? He says the hole's not quite big enough for him, but hey, some people are goofy. Okay, so anyway, these used to be $1 at the dollar store, $1. They're all over the place. So that was my backup. So but those were full of already full. So then, come about morning, morning for me was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You got to understand. So, come morning about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I had to go, and my bottles were off. Those urinals were already full, and so my backup was I had a nut bottle, a jar of nuts, and it's almost empty. So I dumped them out into, put the nuts into a little meat container I had. Can you see that? Yeah. It just filled this thing up totally. So I filled that with nuts. So I had the big, about liter and a half volume wise of just a couple half inch in it now. But I needed it, so that was my last ditch effort there. So here's my point: is that for men or women, if you are in a survival situation, if you're in a shelter in a cave, in a house, a tent, whatever, you're going camping, why would you get up to go to the bathroom to urinate? I mean, I could see, number two, yeah, you got to poop in a bucket or something, so that's a totally different story. But to get up during the night, especially if it's, let's say it's cold out, it's really cold, for men or women to get up out of a sleeping bag when your body core is warm and you're warm, to get up, unzip the bag, get out, get freezing cold, put out your coat on, go out, unzip the tent, one or two zippers, usually two zippers to get out, go out to pee and come back in, close the zippers. Everybody else has gotten cold, everybody else got woke up, and now you got to get back in the sleeping bag and try to warm up your body core again, even and we just got it cold. That's could be fatal in some cases. So I've done I'm sure a lot of people have died doing that kind of stupid stuff. So don't do it. Get a pee in a bottle. And there's ways for women to do that too. So, in fact, I added a playlist to last night's thing, on FUDDs, female urinary diversion devices. Female urinary diversion, FUDs, female urinary devices, if you want to call them that, or STP, stand to pee devices. If you're a woman, I'm saying to you women out there, if you're a woman and you don't have one, get one. Make one, whatever, buy one, design one, whatever, but get one. Usually you got to buy them. There's not too many things. I tried to brainstorm how to hack it, but I never did figure out any success at it. So, yeah, come on. Okay, so I'll just throw, look at the playlist because they're in there, but there's a lot of them. You can look them up. There's Shewee, SHEWEE, wee wee, like Shewee. That's one brand. There's Go Girl, which I think is probably to me is about the best. She-Whiz, Femwiz, maybe Femwiz or She-Whiz is another one. One of them has a tube that comes out of it, like slides into it, and you can do that with a Go Girl too. The Go Girl has one, a tube. You can get them with or without a tube. In other words, you got a longer tube, so you can actually wear it in your pants and just pop the tube out. They're silicone. The good ones, I think, are silicone. You want silicone because silicone is hydrophobic. In other words, water does not stick to it. So a Go Girl, and you can use it, and then actually just give it a flick, and there's not going to be any water on it. You could, pour water in and drink out of it. It's hydrophobic. That means water will not stick to it. Then you want to rinse them off. You make a big deal about wiping it out if you want, or whatever. But they're nothing's going to stick to it. Rinse it off with water. Put it back in a little net bag holder, and use it 1,000 times. So another thing is I'm putting that. There's a playlist there. Go ahead and look at it. There's one from the Army, military, because the military is very big on that. And from the first time I looked at this whole thing, I was like, okay. I mean, I already looked ahead to the point in time that, we're going to have search and rescue parties out there. And I'm talking, this is dead serious stuff. I mean, people have had dreams on this stuff. I mean, I told you I wrote about it in my book, Father and Daughter. I was over at Collins, a community, and this family was there, and the dad saying, my daughter and I always have the same dreams. We have both been out in the woods bringing people in, evading military patrols and bringing people into safety. And I said, I've seen that for years. And this guy was so excited, he screamed at his daughter across the room about 40 feet away. He goes, Kylie, come over here. This man has the same dreams we do. And I said, no, hold on, don't get excited. I said, I don't have dreams. I'm just saying I know that's going to happen. I've been planning for it. I've been working on that for 10 years. No, about 2 years, 3 years at that time. Now it's been 20-some years. So that's important, and it's, here's my point is, you're going to have mothers whose kids have been lost or children who have been raped or kidnapped out looking for their children. Okay, there's going to be, husbands looking for their wives, wives looking for their husbands, mothers looking for their daughters or sons, relatives, or, mom or dad, whoever, kids looking for their parents. And these search and rescue teams are going to be co-ed. There's going to be men and women in there, and they're going to have to be able to get along and work together, and without any added danger from women have to go pee pee. One of the one of the FUD device manufacturers, their motto is "No tush in the bush." There's no reason for a woman to have to drop her pants when they're out on a camping expedition or whatever to have to urinate. Like I said, number two, you do that once or twice a day, whatever. That's different. That's more private, and you can get somewhere once or twice a day. But you got to pee several times a day. There's no reason to have to drop your pants just to urinate. And that came up in one of the off-road recovery videos recently. The husband and wife were going on a 1,000-mile trip to pick up a truck, and they ended up buying a car also and driving the car home. And the wife's like, I gotta go. She had, the middle of the highway out in icy highway, Colorado or more Oregon, Montana. I think I'm Montana. I think what it was. But anyway, she said, I'm gonna have to just go squat somewhere, And I was like, hey, get one of these things. They're great, So, you're good. We're going to be out doing things, But and just to think about the fact that how many times have you been in a campsite or a truck stop or a rest area or whatever? God, don't ever go to rest areas. Those are the most dangerous places in the country to go. But how many times have you been in an outhouse or place where the outhouse was just gross, disgusting, sick? And you can go find that sometimes in restaurants where they just stink. They're really bad. The toilets all stuff all over. I'm not going to go into it, but you all been there and seen bad places where you didn't want to go. You didn't want to sit on the seat. You wanted to have fumigated before you even sat on it, right? Okay, so for women, why sit down? You don't have to. Just use a urinal. Use a stand-up urinal or pee in it, without even getting, undoing your stuff, your pants. Okay, shut up, Jerry. Now this here in my hand here, I'm not sure how this works. What do you call them? Not buds, but yeah. Uh-huh. Another thing as far as sanitation is a bidet. Bidet is okay, very important. Why use toilet paper? Oh, we're just gonna use family rag when the shit hits the fan. When the shit hits the fan, we're just gonna use family. When the shit hits the fan, get this. When the shit hits the fan, we're not gonna use toilet paper because we don't have any. So we're gonna have family rags. We're gonna have a little rag, and everybody's gonna have a different color rag or something. You're gonna wash them off. Well, what are you gonna wash them off with? Hello, water. Why not use water like everybody does in Europe and Japan? A bidet, and wealthy people use them. Use a bidet to wash your butt off, whether it's number one, number two, or that time of the month. Use water, warm water, whatever, to rinse it off, and then just pat dry with a towel or your family rag. Why don't you use your family rag to pat yourself dry when you're already clean? It's so retarded. People are just, when COVID hit, CB hit, Americans bought toilet paper and Clorox. I kid you not. People in Europe bought rice and beans. They don't deal with that kind of stuff. This must be instructions, maybe. What is that thing? So this is a bidet. It's supposed to be able to use it in a pop bottle or water bottle, either one. So I got a water bottle here. Let me see if it works. I think it's the gasket thing. I don't think it screws in or on. I think it sticks inside. So water bottles are typically smaller than pop bottles. I don't have any pop bottles because I don't drink pop. But yeah. And then how does it work though? I'm not seeing how it works. So there's things like this that are pretty cool. There's a lot of these around too, bidets of different kinds. I just get a 500 milliliter laboratory wash bottle. Okay, you can get a bunch of them on eBay or Amazon, and they have the little thing the little, L-shaped thing. Where some of them are bent a little bit up. Those are perfect. So they have a tube that goes down to the inside, so when they're standing up, they can still squirt from the bottom. We just pull the tube out, and you got an upside down bidet. I call it a redneck bidet. I'm trying to figure out how this thing works. Does it pop up there? You put water in it, squirt it. Okay, I see. There's a teeny little slit there. So you put that in the bottle and then squeeze it and it squirts. I'm not going to squirt because I'm too cold. Yep. So it'll let put out like a fan, a stream, a flat stream. So anyway, me those are very important. You could save, I figured I've saved about 30 cases of toilet paper over the last 10, 15 years. I started doing that about 10, 15 years ago. And the same bottle I got back then, the first one was Van Waters and Rogers bottle, very good, very high quality, Nalgene bottle. And I could still be using it a day if I hadn't lost it or something. My son's goats chewed one of them. He used it. He grabbed it, used it for something for goats, to give them a medicine, I think. And they gnawed and, chomped on it, and chewed the nozzle a little bit, but it still works if I could find it. But every once in a while I find Nalgene. Very rare. It's getting very rare to find them. But you can get whatever. Even the Chinese ones are just fine. Cheap ones work just as well, and they'll work for years and years. They'll save you cases and cases and cases of toilet paper. And if you're in public, you can use it really easily. Go in the bathroom, just put water in it, and that's one thing that people like about the water bottle ones is you can very inconspicuous. You take that little thing here, get that in your pocket, take your water bottle into the stall with you, and you got your bidet. That's your bidet. Icelandic water, Sprite, Pop, Dr. Pepper, whatever, doesn't make any difference. This will fit both of them. See, that's wider. I don't think you can see that. The first two rings are for water bottles, and the bottom two are for pop bottles. They're bigger and tighter. So, anyway, it's pretty cool. And that's just because I was over in the Airstream I was looking for some things over there, and I saw that there, so I grabbed it and opened it just now. So. Then the other thing I was looking at is, like I said, doing several projects that I'm working on. Grow bags for growing plants. That's probably what fried it or anything. I had a good one. The one the guy told me to get, I got one of those, but it has 3 prongs, and the cheaper one had 2 prongs, and I don't know if that's what did it, but that is the plug that went bad. So I'm thinking that thing probably was bad, and that something cooked it. And then when I had the heater plugged in, it was, it like scorched it. It melted the thing down, slagged the metal, melted the metal. Not good. Not good at all. So I got to figure that out and get it fixed. I can't be putting up with that every couple of nights. Electrical fire is how the guy burned his trailer down that I talked about earlier. It was electricity that did it. Okay, so on to bigger and better things. So grow bags is important. I want to get a roll of that this fabric, landscape fabric, 12-year DeWitt landscape fabric, and on eBay I can get a roll of it, a 4-foot by 300-foot roll. That's 1,200 square feet. That'll make 600 grow bags. I want to get that. $80. I want to get that pretty soon, as soon as possible. Start making them things. At least learn how to make them. See, I'm trying to get things done ahead of time so that, okay, I have this on hand, and somebody shows up and they go, well, here, go into production. I want you to see if you can make 30 of these today, 50 of these today. That's your job today. Just, it's a business, right? Waiting for somebody to happen, waiting for it to happen. You can grow bamboo in bags, these grow bags, and somebody comes up and picks up a bamboo plant, or you ship it out. Look on eBay, grow bamboo, $30 for a little teeny bamboo plant in a bag. They put it in a little plastic bag and water, and a little bit of dirt in it. But you have a grow bag, $30, boom. You have a whole bunch of them on one little tiny bit of property. But another project I'm working on, I already ordered stuff for it. Somebody sent me a donation, so I spent it already. Thank you, Deb. But anyway, I got 4 rolls of shrink wrap coming, pallet wrap. And what I'm going to do with that is to build a shelter. I want to build a greenhouse and a little shelter in the woods type thing, a survival shelter. And I'll film that. I'll, do video on it and stuff, procedure and everything I do, how to do it, and show how easy it is. I want to do three different types. But I made a playlist for that. That'll be on here, and it's on last night's and probably the night before. But I made a playlist. It's survival shelters, shrink wrap shelters, teepees, yurts, domes, etc. Um, cabins. And there's a couple of them did the teepee shaped thing. A couple guys did a dome shape. One guy called it a yurt. The other guy called it a dome, kind of a geodesic dome, but made with vines. Really cheaply done. I mean, just the vines tied together with. One guy makes a string twine out of pop bottles. You just make a cutter and pull it, and it runs around, makes string. You can make it half-inch, quarter-inch, eighth-inch, string to tie things together with. So, am I still on? Yeah, good. Thank God. I should take it more often. But the nice thing about this pallet wrap is, let's say you can have a tent. You got a say a $300 tent, but if you damage it, it's damaged, it's gone. Trashed. Well, shrink wrap. You can have one roll of shrink wrap in a car, and in an emergency situation, people have done different things like, oh, here's 4 trees, we'll just shrink wrap around the trees, and or you get some twine, some bamboo, some saplings of something, you bend them over and tie them together. One guy did that. He made domes, a dome out of that. So if you have a there's different way. All I'm saying is you can wrap this stuff around about anything, and it lasts for quite a while. It lasts for 2 years before it rots away or stuff ruins it. But you run it around trees. You got a wall. You got a shelter from the wind. It's shelter. As I said, your number one rule of survival, if you're in a survival situation where you have problems, you have got to find shelter. Well, with shrink wrap, you can make shelter out of about anything. A couple of trees, and you could at least have a windbreak. If you put one more thing in the ground, have 3 trees, you get a little triangular area. And 2 people have said this, and I understand that's got to be true. When I hear something, I go, well, I don't really like that idea. The idea is, okay, do you put a stove inside it or outside? So they said you don't have to have a fire inside. You can put a fire outside it, and it'll retain the heat. This is if you have a roof, like a dome. One guy had a dome here. He said you don't have to have a fire inside. You can have a fire outside. It retains the heat very well. The heat goes right through the plastic, and it keeps you warm inside. It warms it up, and it stays in there. So yeah, if you got a roof on, you can do that. The guy with the yurt thing, 2 or 3 people said the same thing. You can have a fire outside, and it'll keep you warm. So that's pretty cool, without melting it, of course. But don't have it too close. But the heat will penetrate, and it'll retain the heat in there. So yeah, pretty cool. So that's a project I want to get done. So all I'm saying is I would like to see more participation in this whole program. Someone was to organize I'd like to see a continual immigration system. Continuous immigration, a relocation. Refugee relocation system. And I'm hoping it really does. And things looks like things are happening. Like one of y'all is hopefully going to be out here. I mean, Rock's going to hopefully be here. Dave's going to hopefully be here. That'll be a big help. They have really good heads on their shoulders. They both know a lot of stuff. They both have a lot of good stuff. Meaning stuff in your heads and stuff, information, knowledge that they've studied on for years. Dave one time gave me a 2 terabyte. If you all out there have any idea how much 2 terabytes is, that's a lot of information. From his own personal research and stuff, he gave me a 2 terabyte full of videos and stuff. I mean, this one guy did the whole series of videos on eating food out of the wild. This guy said he was 70 years old, and he eats food from the wild where he lives. If you live in the desert, you eat food from the wild in the desert. If you eat in the jungle, you eat food from the wild in the jungle. If you're in the Rockies, you eat food from the wild in the Rockies. And he said if you do that, wherever you live, eat food, wild food, you'll be very healthy. And this guy looked like he was 25 years old. He said he was 70. I mean, it was pretty hard to believe. Amazing. The guy was in absolute perfect condition, So anyway, Dave gave me this 2 terabyte hard drive full of stuff. I don't know where it's at right now, but I've been moved so many times that. Anyway, so Dave's got a good head on his shoulder. Rock's got a really good head on his shoulder, and Jack. Please pray for Jack. I mean, she might be listening here right now. Hi, Jack. Don't say hi, Jack, in an airport. She had to explain that one to me. Sorry, I was a little slow on the uptake that night. I said, "Hi, Jack." Don't say that. I said, "Why not?" Okay, so anyway, But she's got a good head on her shoulders too. I mean, she's phenomenally, and they'll have good experience. Dave's an electrician. Rox does a lot of car stuff. Jack has been a diesel mechanic and a heavy equipment operator, and she's a tinkerer, and that's one of the biggest, most valuable things we'll need after the posterior excrement impacts the rotating oscillator. You know. So anyway, valued people are going to become along, but I'm looking at, hopefully, I feel that I see this opening up. Oh, and by the way, a real estate agent just texted me tonight and said or emailed me. He said he's apologized he was still waiting for information back on this property that this family was looking at, and he hasn't heard back from me yet. He's plugging away at it. But another real estate agent said it wasn't on the market because the owners were having problems or something. So anyway, I asked this other guy. I said, "Please keep looking." I said, "And look at the other one too. The big house, the big warehouse one." I said, and so this guy is a local guy out there, and he's in a county that's like almost smack dab in the middle of the Ozark Plateau. So, and good sheriff, better sheriff now. So I'm looking forward to hopefully having not a warehouse, a warehouse too, definitely. I've envisioned this thing from when I first my first refuge meeting in 2009. I just had this sense that I just was in touch with so many people at the time. I met so many 20 or 30 people there. People that had farms, had just bought property. One couple put up a Quonset hut. That was their deal. Another, I don't know what. Anyway, I had this sense that someday I'm gonna have to be able to go out and go from farm to farm to farm, helping people build a rocket stove, how to do fencing, how to do this, how to split firewood. Just teach them all the different things I've learned, especially learned from Bill over the last 7 years being here. After the divorce, that's one of probably the biggest blessings, of that whole traumatic time in my life. The last 7 years have been very stressful, but I've learned a lot. Understand this: Bill and Shirley homesteaded in Alaska. There were times one time it was 80 below zero. The tires were actually cracking. Brake fluid doesn't work at 80 below zero. You don't have any brakes. You just drive real slow and real carefully. Don't go off the road. The tires were cracking and falling apart as they were driving on their way home. Went out one time on a snowmobile thing, crossed a river. Woke up this morning, had to start a fire underneath the snowmobile to try to get the motor warmed up enough to start. Built a cabin when it was 50 below zero. Roofing it, putting the tongue and groove roofing on, and then shark papering in the dark at night. Snow going sideways at 50 below zero with a Coleman lantern and hammer. That's brutal. I mean, that's brutal. You gotta have buried 6 foot deep buried propane and water lines because propane doesn't work at that temperature. It has to be heated, or it won't work. You can throw a match at liquid propane, yeah, liquid propane. Kerosene, try that. Diesel, throw a match at it. It doesn't blow up. It doesn't flame up. You gotta have it. It has to be a wick to be able to even light it up. So, but yeah, homesteading. They've homesteaded, cleared land, done all that. Arkansas, twice in Arkansas, once in Colorado, and now this is like the 5th time. So I've learned a lot from Bill and Shirley. I mean, they're a fountain, just a treasure house of information on homesteading and canning and gardening and orcharding and fencing and clearing land and stuff. So I'll never forget the one time I was there early on, and Bill did something. I said, "Why did you do that?" "Well, this is my first rodeo, Jerry." I'm like, "Well, Bill, guess what? It's my first rodeo. I'm not trying to argue with you. I just wanted to know why you did it that way." So I was trying to learn, So I learned a lot from him over the 7 years. I've been an apprentice for 7 years now. It's time to graduate, right? Now that's one way of looking at it. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, shut up, Gary. Sorry, that was an emotional moment. Yeah, time to move on. It's been a Shemitah, a 7 year period. It's time for the slaves to be set free. And I've been a slave basically for 7 years, and it'd be nice to be set free, Father. It really would be. free to do what I need to do, free to help people, and on a larger scale, on a huge, much vaster level. I mean, that's what I feel I've been called to do. What I'm working toward, planning toward, working on, and I'm believing it's going to happen. So, and I see things happening to see that happen. You know, like I said, get a big property down by Dora, Drury area, maybe Ava, somewhere around in there, Gainesville. I don't care, somewhere over there, centrally located. Really cool area over there. Okay, anyway, that's what some of the things I was thinking about. So, a couple of the projects. I've got several playlists. I'll upload several of my latest playlists I've worked on. Um, rocket stoves is important. The other thing, too, about the shelter idea, the greenhouse shrink wrap shelter idea is you can have a rocket stove, an in ground, what I call a Dakota fire hole in ground rocket stove, where you don't have the fire inside the thing, you don't have it outside the thing. It's in an enclosed steel, an in ground, a hole. Pipe runs underneath the thing. You could even have a curl of pipe, a meandering thing, an S, like an S or even a double S, a pipe going through there, and it could be made with rocks and just a trench with rocks laid over it, where your flue gases run through the earth, and the earth's warmed up. Then you're sleeping on warm earth, but the fire's outside. So yeah, very cool. I'm playing with a lot of those ideas. I want to work on those. I want to see that happen. With my son's skin litter over here, I would like to clean up this over here right outside the trailer and have a campsite area there. Yeah. So anyway, okay, that's probably about enough for tonight. I'm gonna see if anybody said anything, or if anybody wants to talk about anything, or apologize for anything, or okay. I'm gonna go to the top, and then we'll come down from there. Okay, Grant Bennett, 333. Oh my gosh, hallelujah! You gotta tell me what if 333 means anything to you, sir. Why you picked that? We can start now on the Matthews here. I love it. Yeah, I'm not early. I'm not late. I'm exactly on time. Okay, not cutting off. Ray, how you doing, Ray? Ray, how long before you're gonna be taken off out of there? I have not heard back from Ed and Jen. This really stinks. I don't know why. Hope they're okay. It was cutting off the whole time. Oh boy. Somebody said it was not cutting off anymore. You said it was cutting off the whole time. I hope you meant before that. Yeah, you were talking about the fire and wood stove and airstream. Yeah, okay. Speaking of snakes, are there any specific areas in Ozark, Missouri that have more snakes and crawlers than others? I don't know. We'll talk about that one. Where there's water, you'll notice snakes. I'll find snakes in the wood and brush. Yeah, there's different things you can do. Down in Arkansas, there's going to be more um, rattlesnakes and more. Anywhere you have slow water, you can have cottonmouths. Cottonmouths are the worst. Copperheads are not that big of a deal. They're poisonous, but nobody has ever died from a copperhead bite. Supposedly, not even dogs. I don't think. Maybe dogs. There's a rule of thumb with dogs: if they get bit behind the head or head of the head, I can't remember, behind the neck or on the head or the body. I can't remember. One's word better than one's word better. One's words. But copperheads are basically, if you have a farm, you want to have chickens and animals, that eat snakes, right? Because here's my point. I've said this many times. Chickens are vicious. They're brutal. They are deadly. I mean, chickens are one of the most vicious predators on earth. You'll see a cat, and there's a video of a cat, right? There's a mouse, and it's playing with the mouse. Cats will play with mice for quite a while. They'll let them go. Even snakes. A cat will. We got two kittens from a couple. They said the mama trained these kittens to hunt. And I'm like, oh, cool, good kittens that are trained to hunt. They gave them to us, and then after they gave them to us, they said yeah, they're trained to hunt. The mom would catch copperheads, bring them in the house, and then turn it loose for the kittens to play with, to learn how to hunt them. I'm like, oh, great. She just told us the kittens are trained to bring copperhead snakes in the house so they can play with them. Thank you very much for that a little bit of information ahead of time. So anyway, copperheads, whether they're copperheads like wood piles, so you don't want to have wood piles around. You want to keep your woods in single stacks in Missouri, pretty much. Clean, up off the ground. You got a big pile of wood, you're gonna have snakes. It's a snake hotel, copperhead hotel. So just things you want to avoid. It's pretty simple. You don't in the spring. You don't want to go around picking up flat things on the ground, whether it's cardboard or tin laying on the ground, because generally you'll have snakes under there. That's a good where they'll go into their nest because it's warm. Snakes are cold-blooded, so don't pick something up that's on the ground without being aware of it. Usually you want to try to get a rake or something and pick it up from the far side. So you pick it up away from you and then pick it up toward you. Don't just grab it and pick it up, like a snake could be under there ready to smack you. Usually you have time to just drop it and step away and get a shovel or something and whack it. I've never known anybody. I knew one lady that was bit by a copperhead, and that was on a wood pile in a wood shed, supposedly. And it was during the winter even. So it must have nested in there and it bit her. And the doctor, she's almost died, but doctor, I don't care what bit her, horse, dog, cat. It's the bacteria on the teeth, on the fangs that are the problem, not the poison. It wasn't necessarily the poison. She just got sick from her immune system was compromised. So anyway, she didn't die. She survived. She's okay. But the snakes are interesting. Here's the point of a snake: is if you have chickens. Oh, I was going to say chickens are so vicious. There's a really cool picture, video. You might be able to find it online, but it just amazed me. A cat is sitting there, got a mice, and it's like playing with a mouse, right? So about 15, 20 feet away, you see a chicken. The chicken comes into the screen, zips over, grabs the mouse, and it's gone. But if by the time you first see it, it has the mouse and it's gone, and the cat was from looking at the mouse, turned its head, and it's like, what happened? It happened so fast the cat didn't even react to it, which is pretty amazing. Sitting there playing with the mouse, a little toy. It's gone. And the cat's like, what happened, man? I didn't see that. Who was that mass bandit, I mean, chickens don't mess around. They will grab a mouse, they'll eat it. We had a chicken coop one time, and we had straw bales around the bottom of it. We finally realized that there was attracting mice. So we knocked the bale over, about 30 mice go skittering out, and chickens grabbed them. We had the dog out there, the cat. The best hunter was the dog, better than anything. The cats were kind of stupid. The chickens were vicious. I remember, I'll never forget, one chicken grabbed a mouse and went running off, and about 20 chickens running after it, and one of them caught up with it, and they both grabbed it and stretched it out. Just snap it. It was like stretch it out. Snap, like a rubber band. But chickens will not waste time playing with a mouse. They will kill it and they'll eat it. So my point is this, is that what's the difference between a big worm and a baby snake to a chicken? Nothing. The copperheads, my sense is the copperheads probably smart enough to not raise snakes where there's chickens, to not have babies where there's chickens. And I don't know where the copperheads lay live snake or if they have eggs. I'm not sure. Rattlesnake, I did research on this. Rattlesnakes do not have eggs. They just hatch live babies. Usually 2 or 3 moms will get together in a certain place where there's a den, it's warm enough, and they'll have 20 to 25 baby snakes apiece. So you're talking 75 baby snakes in any little clutch of rattlesnakes gathered. So that's a lot of rattlesnakes. I'd rather not be around that. So anyway, so yeah, this place is, it's just common. A lot of it's common sense. You ought to learn. One of the biggest problems you'll have is getting used to the humidity, which you might be used to, ticks, chiggers, snowstorms in March, and ice storms in January, snowstorms in March, and humidity and stuff like that. But ticks and chiggers are a big pain. It's got to get used to. And just a lot of that's diet. I think if people have a healthy diet, they're usually not bothered as much. If you eat more spicy foods, that's good. Some of the bitter herbs are good. That's one of the why in Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you're supposed to eat bitter herbs. Unleavened bread. Well, unleavened bread, if you don't eat leavening, you're not going to have as much gluten and garbage in your gut, and your body is less attractive to bugs and ticks and chiggers. I don't have any problem with them at all. I mean, a couple 3 years ago, I got bit by one and it died, and I noticed another one on me. I felt one of them. I actually saw it, and tick, and I pulled it off ready to get. I got a lighter out. It's already dead. What the heck? And yeah, next one I saw it in the mirror or something. I picked it off and was like, it's already dead. That's cool. I like that. They you bite me, you die. It's like the Scottish national motto is "Nemo me impunity licet." No one touches me with impunity. No, no. If you want to bite me, you may die. So don't mess with me. Yeah, don't worry about snakes. We'll deal with that. It's like it's an educational thing. All that. One time we were by a culvert and there was a snakes in there, and it was a pretty sure it was a copperhead. Yeah, it was a copperhead. And we got one of them. A kid was going to make me a hatband, but something. One of the animals ate the snake up, so he was going to make me a hatband. Not that I would have cared. I don't have any hat that I wear that would be for it. But anyway, no big deal. Yeah, don't worry about snakes. I'll educate you on that. We'll deal with it as we cross that bridge when the time comes. You know what? Teddy Kennedy said to Mary Jo Kopechne, right? She looked at him. They were in the car, and she looked up and said, "Teddy, I think I'm pregnant." Or "Teddy, I'm pregnant." And he said, "Don't worry, Mary Jo. We'll drive off that bridge when we come to it." Anyway, yeah. One of the coolest things is I'm just, I'm excited about. I said this one of the things last night. I'm really excited about, um, you know, things actually starting to look like they're actually happening. Rock may get here, Dave may get here. If we'll get Jack freed from her meth mountain, hall of Satan, hall of satanic people, and get her over here and help. I mean, that's one of the most valuable people I think I've ever met. I want to get her out here onto a place where she could be a big help to people. So anyway, so that's exciting, and then a couple coming out from Tennessee, very exciting about that. So I just see Father working and things coming together. It looks like I'm sensing that. I pray, like I said, it's time for me to graduate from being an apprentice slave to actually doing something real. Having an office, having a my Bill found my computer the other day. He told me he found it out in the man cave. It from 2019. I lost it in 2019. I took it to Arkansas. I thought I took it to Arkansas. How it ended up in the man cave with some big shipping container. I don't know how it ended up in there, but I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, it's out there. It's my big computer. It's you know, if I can get that up and running and get my Googler stuff on that, oh my god, that'd be awesome. Anyway, I need a place. I need a place where I can actually sit up in office and actually sit down and do something. Like I'm laying in bed right now. It's the only place I can. I don't have no place I can sit in here. This whole trailer. The farm I bought in Fairgrove, I left my chair there. I'd like to get that back someday, or get one. Big comfortable office chair where you can actually sit in it. And sit at a desk and do something. I don't have a desk here. I don't have an office. I don't have a table. I don't have nothing where I can actually do anything. So I'm thinking about seeing if I got these laptop tables. I can put my laptop in here and work with it. I can have a mouse. I got a remote mouse. Anyway, blah 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 blah. Thinking out loud, talking, mumbling, talking to myself. Sorry about that, people. All right. So anyway, yeah. Let me go back to here and see what we got going on. And anybody want to say anything, and then we'll say our good nights. This is after an hour already, and it's already late, 11:30. Time for me to go to bed. Yeah. Oh man. Deborah Perry, hello from Arkansas. Hi there. Hello from Arkansas. Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, if you don't have food for snakes, if you don't have a bunch of grain, you got to watch out. If you have a chicken coop, you got to watch out for black snakes, and you don't want to kill black snakes if you don't have to. Now, if they're eating your eggs and you know stuff like that, then yeah, you might have to kill them. If they get big enough to eat your cat, then if you want to keep your cat around, then we have to get rid of them. But by and large, you don't kill black snakes because they kill and eat poisonous snakes. They kill copperheads and they kill what are the other things called cottonmouths. Yeah, water snakes, water moccasins. They kill any other snake and eat them. Amazing. Yeah. I saw my son told me that one time. I killed a black snake, and he said, "Well, black snakes kill copperheads and other snakes." And so I looked it up online. I found this awesome video of this black snake, a big, huge rattlesnake, was like 6 feet long, big ass rattlesnake. And I don't know how it did it because black snakes have very small head. You know, they don't look like nothing compared to a big, big poisonous snake. But it had bit this thing behind the head, and I don't know how it didn't show it work its way, but it showed it as it was finishing the thing off, right? So the last thing you see is the tail of the rattlesnake in the mouth and rattling as it got sucked into the black snake. And then instead of waiting and just, you know, vegging on, rolling over and, you know, whatever, I mean, this black snake has this rattlesnake inside it. I mean, it's already, the rattlesnake may still be alive technically, but it's inside the black snake. It was almost as big as the black snake. The black snake just takes off, slid it off into the sunset, you know. That amazed me because usually with snakes they eat, it's going to go, they lay down and like, you know, takes energy to digest. Well, with a dead snake inside its belly, or almost dead snake inside its belly, it just took off and zoomed off into the sunset. This is pretty cool. Them things are impressive. So yeah, black snakes are cool in the sense of that sense. But anyway, yeah, we'll yeah, that is, you get animals that don't like snakes that eat snakes. Emus, any chicken, any bird, emus, ostriches will kill snakes, but you let ostriches are too big, and emus are pretty darn big too. They're kind of dangerous in their own right. But rat terriers, their dogs, little terriers will kill snakes and eat them too. So they'll kill rats and snakes and everything. So anyway, yeah, but basically it keeps your place clean. You know the area and you get used to it, and you know what you got there. You'll know if you have snakes or not before long, and you get rid of them if you want to get rid of them, or relocate them, or kill them, whatever you want to do. You know, some people just relocate them. Um, yeah, so that's a good point. Good question. All right, I didn't hear back from Mr. 333. Different period in Arkansas. Common Sense Homesteads. Hey, good evening. Jack says, no, they're all over here, but the only poisonous snakes are copperheads, water moccasins, cottonmouths, yeah, rock rattlesnakes, spiders, black widows, brown recluse. Oh, stop it. Stop it. You trying to scare somebody off or what? What do you mean they're all over here? Okay. I would say there's probably more in Arkansas, and she's over in the more hilly area. Cats keep mice, rats, and snakes down. Best vermin killers I've found. Yep, absolutely. Guineas. Yeah, guineas are good. Guineas are so cool. I love guineas. Some people hate them, but I love them. They're like music. Leaves work great for that. Just keep away from those tree leafers. Not sure what she meant there. Leaves work great for that. For what? People just write sentences with that is not a noun. That is a pronoun. That doesn't. We don't have any idea what that is. I might figure it out. Just keep away from those tree leafers. Oh, from keep away from leaves of three. Let them be poison ivy. Leaves are great for that. I don't know what leaves are great for. Thank you, Ray Soba. Yeah. Hello, Jerry. So I have ponds. Will I have snakes for sure? No, not necessarily. We have ponds, true ponds here. I've never seen the snakes around here. I don't care much if they're poisonous eyes. Oh, come on. You can see a snake, they're not going to hurt you. Just kidding. Ponds, lakes, rivers, swamps, snake attractions, all animals. Yeah. Yeah. First week of March. Okay. Hopefully we'll hear from Ed and Jen there. With some sea snake, stand still, watch it, then run in opposite direction. Been doing that for 66 years, never been bit. Yep. That's it. Possums, beetles prey on chickens. Yeah. Oh, pray that a man who dropped by offered to help me. Oh, wow, that'd be so awesome. Oh my gosh. Aloche Felucci, are you in Ottawa? Ottawa. Ottawa, Kansas, Ottawa, Canada. Where's Ottawa? I'm familiar with Ottawa, Kansas. Possums eat ticks and are good garbage men. Yep, very helpful. Yeah, I've heard that possums are good. I popped a couple possums for a lady, and people gave me a whole big hard time, man. I'll tell you what. I'm like, everybody in my county would love to have had that possum. Some people make pets out of them. They're really good. There's one, little Missy or something like that. There's a lady that it was a hurt possum or something. She started raising it, and the thing just absolutely loves her. And they're clean, very intelligent. Driving down tomorrow. Pray for us to get a place we can buy and move to. Oh my gosh, hallelujah! I'll get back out and start looking again. Let me know if you found anything else. Second yards and haven't seen any snake. Only the skin they shed. Yeah, they may just rush. Oh my, that's not fair, Ray. You're going to kill people's cats. Jack Russell Terrier kill anything that moves. Ray, one time I told the guy came to visit us and he said I have my Jack Terrier with me, and he said it kills cats, so don't have your cats out. So I picked up my son's favorite cat, Clouseau, and put it in their trailer. My two boys were in the trailer, and I said, keep this cat in here. There's a dog out here that'll kill it. Well, they didn't hear me or didn't pay any attention to me or ignored me like children do oftentimes. I should have been louder and more clear, but anyway, they let the cat out, dead, about 15 minutes later. Took the dog about 2 minutes to find it and kill it. My neck of the woods seen maybe 11 since 98. Mostly those cats are dragging. Hopefully dead, right? I grew up in the Ozarks. Live outside all my life. But I've come about 25 or so. Two-legged critters are the worst. Absolutely agree with that one. Two-legged critters are a liability. Yep. We'll all agree on that one. Hell yeah, you can trust a four-legged critter more than two-legged. Yep. Mongoose. Yeah, all right. There's Jack. What's the guy named? Oh, come on. Carter. The ferret, not ferret. Carter. Mink man. This guy's a mink man, like a falconer. He's a minkeneer, or a ferreteer. Anyway, his name's just look up mink man or ferret man. He raises them and he uses them to hunt rats and stuff. And yeah, ferret or they call him another word for him, ferret, weasel, ferret are very good for hunting little things like that. What about in West Virginia? But what kind in the north part of it? There's a lot of snakes. I can't speak for West Virginia. If you're in hilly country, if you're out in the country, you may have snakes. But just like I said, you just got to get used to it. You keep your property cleaned up. You don't leave metal laying around on the ground where snakes can get in and get warmed up. They're cold-blooded, so they have to have a place to, there are certain places where they like to hang out. If there's cover, if there's debris, they are attracted to it. Just keep your place clean. Don't leave trash laying around. You won't have bugs or critters, Keep your lawn mowed. If you're walking around outside, you're going to see them, and you can get rid of them or not. You can trap them or kill them or shoot them or chop them up with a shovel into little pieces or whatever you want to do. You'll know. I mean, I've lived here in Missouri since about 2002 and 2001, and I saw a black snake once. You'll have, if you have chickens, you're gonna have black snakes, but they're not poisonous, and they're just yucky. And you try to relocate them or not kill them, but they eat eggs, so most people that have chickens tend to kill black snakes. They're not bad snakes at all. You just try to encourage them to go somewhere else, I've seen a few copperheads, three. I was weed whacking one time, and by the time I saw it, it was dead because I weed whacked it. Then I started being careful. I picked up the thing that was laying on the ground, and there was nothing under it. But as far as West Virginia, you got to look at it, and if you want to live out in the country, find out, talk to the local people, and find out. But yeah, I've seen a few copperheads, very very few, very rare, not that big of a deal. Like I said, if you have a farm and you have chickens, you won't have snakes around because baby snake, big worm, no different to a chicken. Chickens will kill it and eat it. They'll eat I found a big fat black widow one time out. Hey, chicken, 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 chicken. Chicken came zooming over to me, and I was like, "Oh, maybe that wasn't a good idea because I'm saying that chicken eats this poisonous fire, and it was gone. Oh, gone. They didn't hesitate a split second. Now, conversely, it's very weird. One time, those what do they call them, the bagworms, these caterpillars that go and infest trees and kill the trees, eat the leaves. We had knocked a bag of them down and cut it open and called the chickens over. The chickens came running from all four directions. There were about 30 chickens out, and they called them over. Okay, all came running over at the same time from all the different points of the compass from all around. They all about 15 feet away stopped and turned around and went back the other direction. They saw the worms at 15 feet away. They saw that, nope, I'm not eating them things. Those are yucky. The ducks came over and ate them. So tells you something about chickens versus ducks. Yeah, the chickens would eat them from 15 feet away. They just froze. Every single one just stopped. Nope, sorry, not eating them. Feed to the ducks. The ducks came over and eat them all. So that's pretty weird. Okay, well, that's about everybody. So yeah, I'm praying that things start opening up here and happening, and we can get some synergistic work going. Start seeing a geometrical explosion of influx of people, capability, properties, and stuff, and just start moving and start doing some things. So that's very exciting. I'm very very excited about that. So I'm hoping for people to get together and help. And like I said, I'll say again that prophecy that I put the link for the other day. Spirit Move Ministry. I think it was the name of it. I don't know what the lady's name was, like Liberty Pumpkin Seed or something. It sounds like a phony name, but anyway, her name's Liberty, and she's a prophet of sort. So I agreed with some of the things he said. I don't agree with the whole Trump thing and the Trump prophecies. I'm not sold on all that by any means. But the idea of supporting and helping, yeah, I really appreciate people starting to support and help any ministry. I don't care, but this ministry, if you're being blessed by it, um, figure out a way to help me out a little bit. I want to get some things going. I want to get a shelter built. I want grow bags being made, so I have that ready. I want to know how to do it and have it on hand. I have it ready to, here, you got a few hours a day, start working on this, you can do this all day. I got other things to do. I've got about 50, 60, maybe, probably really about 200, maybe 200 to 500 projects I figure. Won't know until they're all in operation, but I want to have a big warehouse, a factory, basically, a factory with little bins of parts and stuff. I can get a lot of things working and building and in a way to produce things for people. So, all right, that's about it. Probably. I'm thinking. Are we done on the snake issues? Yeah. Roxy W. That's good news. What's good news? Again, people. That is a pronoun. It's not a subject. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying. That's good news. Something's good news. Yeah. Like a little bit earlier, Leah said, at Ray Sova, and the next thing said, thanks. You hit the return, it registers pops your thing up. But, say who you're talking to, who you're responding to, that would help out. Roxy said, now that's good news. Okay. Keep out of the chicken coop. Yeah, that's good to know. What eats the creepy crawlers? That's good to know what eats the creepy crawlers. Yep, yep. My as far as in my trailer or anything because I'm living, that's my motto is, if it creeps, crawls, slithers, flies, jumps, or flies, it dies. I don't want anything in my space. I don't mice, snake, bug. I live in this trailer, not mice, not snakes. Nobody else has a right to be in here except me. You're dead. So, cat maybe, but I don't have cats inside as a rule of thumb. But Jack does, and I thank God for that. Let me tell you a little story about Jack. She'd passed out one time in stroke or something. I'm not sure, but has been close to dying, and to my understanding, the doctor said there's no way she could make it. They're gonna have to. Her face was frozen, and her feet were frozen. Didn't get amputated. God worked a miracle. She did not have her feet amputated, or hands amputated, or anything. But one time she's in the trailer, and the cat water was frozen solid, a block of ice, and her feet were really cold. And she prayed, "Father, please don't let my feet freeze and have to have them amputated," because this would have been the second or third time that had happened. And a cat, big fat cat, jumps off the counter, comes over and lays on her feet and warms them up. Hallelujah. That's pretty awesome. The amazing thing is to me is that she prayed a prayer. An angel put in that cat's mind to come over and warm her feet up for her. Poof. That's pretty amazing. That's a miracle. Okay. Why is it that he can't tell a person to go help Jack? Somebody that lives a half an hour away or less than half an hour away. I don't get that. And somebody that I contacted, and asked, "Would you please help this woman?" No. Oh, well, thanks a lot. Come Judgment Day, you're going to hear, "I was freezing and you didn't help me stay warm. I was homeless and you didn't help me. I was hungry and you didn't feed me. I needed kerosene and you didn't give me anything. I needed help and you wouldn't do it." Sucks for them, right? Yep, it does. It will. That's going to happen to a lot of people. All right, that's it. Cats kill over 1,000 critters just for fun. Bugs are their favorite prey. Cats kill over 1,000 critters. Come on. Chickens are even worse. They don't kill for fun. They kill to eat. You're right. Cats kill for they're fun. They play. They'll play with a mouse for hours. Sometimes the mouse gets away. They ever found this goat 30 feet up a tree. Oh wow. The dogs kept the cat from eating the goat. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Was it a bobcat or cougar? Bobcats do that too. The guy in Kansas, he said he knew there was a big bobcat around. So he got up real early and he got up in a tree. And he has a rifle with him, and he had a weird feeling and he looked up. And the big ass bobcat was above him. He got up there before he did. He was waiting for him. But didn't jump. He didn't take him down. Bobcats aren't stupid, they're going to take out a person with a gun. Right? Very interesting. It was a cougar, yeah. Yep. They're around, no doubt. A friend of mine took a picture of one just broad daylight, right by the side of the road, inside a barbed wire fence. Wow. Gives me the creeps. I mean, bears are bad enough, but bears, they they stand up and they do all kinds of stuff. You can bluff them. I don't know if y'all know this, but a mountain lion's modus operandi is to just get up, jump, hit the back, jump down the neck, and you're dead. You're dead in about seconds. So it's pretty painless death, pretty sudden. But bears, they can maul you and tear you up and slap you around and tear your face off and claw you up and jump on your leg or jump on your neck. They're messy. Cougars are pretty clean. Boom, damn. Cougars are like chickens. They kill and eat. They don't mess around. So cool. All right. Well, anyway, good night, everybody. My voice is gone, so just want to kind of update everybody and see what's whooping out there. Be praying for things. Pray for Rock. Pray for Dave. Pray for Jack. Little Jack. Jack's a female. Uh, she's an elderly woman with a lot of needs and a lot of, potential. So pray for Leah. Hallelujah. Very excited. Well, I got to tell you something. Jack, if you're still on, Matt's Off-Road Recovery. I've been watching a lot of their videos. And Ed,
This old boy, when Matt first started, it was just him and Ed. Ed just like looks like a leathery looking, shriveled up. Looks like he's about 70 years old, something like that. But he was an off-roader from way back, and he would go out with Matt on his when he first started. Matt, they started doing videos the best they could, and so they started getting bigger and better. And now his son's with him, and now his daughter helps him out. Lizzie and Rudy are both helping him out. And people doing camera, running alongside the things, doing camera, usually falling, hurting themselves off and on. But anyway, they said Ed, when he was, and the video of this came up in there, I don't know how many comments. When Ed was a baby, they were in that, they were driving to the hometown. This is where Ed went, because they were going to buy something. They're going to look at something. Oh, it was a road trip. What were they doing? I'll tell you. I'll send you the link. I'll do it when I find it out. I'll run across. I'll send it to you, Jack. So they're talking about this, and they said, yeah, Ed was premature, and so when he was so small, they put him in a shoebox and they kept him warm in the oven. And you could not believe the number of comments people said, yeah, my grandmother was in a shoebox and they kept it in the oven. My grandmother, they kept her, put a shoebox in by the radiator. My grandpa was in a shoebox, kept by the radiator. I mean, about at least three people said, yeah, my grandpa, my grandma, my great-grandma was, kept in a shoebox by the radiator, by the fireplace, on the hearth, Oh, this is amazing. So I'm saying that to tell everybody that's because Jack, her father, was really small, and they put him in a shoebox. And how'd they heat him? Kept him by a radiator? I don't remember that part. Oven? Don't tell me it's an oven. Maybe it was. Anyway, yeah. So I'll tell the rest of the story, Jack. It's very apropos right now. Seeing how we might. Let me see if anybody's on. If anybody said anything. The best part of our story, the skunk was sound asleep. Skunk? What do you mean skunk? Oh, skunk is a cat, people, not a skunk. This was a cat. Come on, Jack. Skunk was a cat, okay. Leave my great TP, yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, well, that worked out for you. I had a sore shoulder one time, and a lady made a mullein poultice and put a mullein leaf on my shoulder. Man, it hurt like hell because the little barbs in it. I don't see using that as toilet paper. People say that all the time, but nobody's ever going to do it. That's just so dumb. It's like, what, 1 month out of the year you're going to have enough mullein around to wipe your butt. But guess what? You have to go to the bathroom 365 days a year. Ain't going to be no mullein around. Guarantee you. Get a water bottle. Get a bidet. People can listen to me or not. Save a lot of money on toilet paper or save your life. One of the biggest problems in a breakdown society is disease, dysentery and cholera, from not unsanitary conditions. And this is from a guy that worked for the CIA, ex-military guy. Okay, he said within 3 days of a breakdown, in any country, anywhere in the world, people are shaking left-handed because the right hand is used for other things that are not sanitary. Go figure it out. And they aren't using toilet paper, so people shake left-handed. So that just tells you something. Get a bidet. I mean, extract cranium from rectal defilade. People, get a bidet and figure out how to urinate at night without getting up out of bed, if you can do it. If it comes down to it. If you're in I put it this way in this kind of situation, and it was this way last night. Matter of life or death, okay? If you're camping, if you have a survival situation and you're in a tent or some kind of shelter, and it's 30 below zero out, or it's 20 below, or it's even 20 degrees out, and you're not ready for it, getting up and going outside to go pee could very well end your life. Could cost you your life, either from hypothermia or being, outside where you don't need to be when there's a critter out there, a predator, whether four-legged or two-legged. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. You don't need to be outside at night in a survival situation. And last night it could have been fatal for me. So Thank God I had enough bottles and stuff. But anyway, all right, that's about it. Mowing plant's a joke. Go ahead. Leaves. Yeah. Okay, Jack. Back to the mowing leaf thing. Were you an English teacher in your past life? Leaves make great tea. Okay, got that. But when you said that comment, this thing I can go straight this over and over again. People use nouns, don't use pronouns. I'm gonna go back to it just for if I can find it. I'm gonna start saying goodnight here. Good night, everybody. Ready to leave first week of March. Pray that this Ed and Jan will get back on here. They haven't been on here for quite a while, over a week. Okay, yeah, cats. Jack says cats keep might rest snakes so down. Best varmint killers I found. Ray says guineas are good. We're talking about varmints and snakes. And then Jack said leaves work great for that. Just keep away from those 3-leafers. That for that. What is that? I understand now. You come back to it about 30 comments later. But if people understand, a full sentence is not a bad idea to work with. A sentence has a noun and a verb and a direct object. Okay, you have pronouns, you have adverbs, you have verbs and adverbs, you have adjectives and whatever, but that is not a noun. So that when you said that, these were great for that, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. So anyway, I'm not trying to chew anybody out. I'm just going to emphasize this over and over again. Can we not speak in real English? Useful sentences, and that includes a noun, a verb, and an adjective. Maybe an adjective, but what do you call them? Direct object. Anyway, I'm not trying to lecture, but it would help out. I mean, I haven't. Last night William said something, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And he chewed me out, and then he called me dummy. And I said, okay, I wrote him, and I said, look, these are forums. I consider this a forum just like anything else. You have, like somebody asked why they had a wrench. Well, that's because they're a moderator, supposedly. I didn't give anybody, I don't know how to do that. I don't have any idea how to do that. But, I will moderate this group, where we're discussing things. You don't call people dummy. You don't insult people. That's just, common courtesy, common decency. Don't call people dummy just because they said something you didn't agree with. That ain't right. That is one thing good Momo would probably be good for because they are insulation. Bottom of shoes, warm feet. It'd be good for you too. Have you done that? I guess you have, probably. 85 walked down a dirt road late at night with a giant skunk till the wind moved those clouds. The full moon shined on the truth. I walked away. I was walking on one time, yeah, moonlit night too, at the college, the Rockmont College that I was going to, a couple little pretty ponds. I was walking out there, I heard this. I walked a little bit further, and it was a skunk, and I took one more step, and the tail went up. I backed off, and tail went down, and I backed away from it. I didn't get sprayed, but yeah, that was pretty funny. Good night, Mary. Good night, Jack. Radiator, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Cayenne pepper inside yeah, cayenne pepper, yes, cayenne pepper and sriracha sauce. Just for everybody, a little less survival thing here. A really good guy, Shug Murray. Well, not Shugmery, Shugmery, I think is his YouTube channel. He's in Minnesota, Ely, 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 Minnesota. He's his personal best. He likes to go out camping in cold weather. People enjoy doing that kind of thing. 40 below zero in a hammock between two trees, and he's talking about how to keep his feet warm. And two guys wrote in and said, "Well, I just drink an ounce of sriracha sauce in a quart of water." And the guy said, "I put cayenne on my feet." I said, well, hot sauce, cayenne will get the blood moving, whether you drink it or you put it on your feet directly. You can, yes, you can do either one or both. Now I tried it one time and it did not work for me at all. My feet got cold and they did not get warmed up. It was too late. I just suffered that night. The night before I got up and went and took a shower. The second night I was like, screw it, I ain't going in that house. This is when I had that farm with where I didn't want to go in the house. Okay, so anyway. Yeah. Any kind of hot sauce, good thing. Take it, mix it in water, drink it. It'll get your blood pumping. On circulation, there's a military vet who had diabetes, and friends of mine they mixed up a solution of cayenne, I think, in apple cider vinegar, and they rubbed his leg down with it, and he resuscitated circulation so good that he went to the VA hospital. The VA said, "If you keep this up, you won't be getting your benefits." So he stopped doing the therapy, and then had both of his legs amputated because he didn't want to use his money. That's pretty sad, but goofy. Okay. Good night, Al. Good night, Ray. Good night, Jack. Good night, Leah. Good night, Mary. Good night. 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 Who's that other person? Didn't talk too much. Mary. Pretty good group tonight. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Then I'm hoping that people will. I'm not trying to harp on it, but just use full sentences, use nouns. That's the biggest thing. Is verbs I understand, but most people just say that or this or the or it. And there's 5 or 6 or 10 people on here, and who in the heck knows what you're talking about? I sure don't. Roxy, hey Roxy, good night. Lucy Filoso, never got back. Are you in the Ottawa? I don't know. Tipper Perry, Sean, hey, good night. One more. Right, the very first person that chimed in. New one. Matthew Runson. Oh, how you doing, Matthew? Good night, Matthew. He didn't say too much, but Grant Bennett. Good night, Grant Bennett. Whoever you are. 333 Grant Bennett 333. I want to talk to you about that. How come I can't write on here? How come I can't do that? That's not fair. I'd be able to write a comment on here. Share, mute, save comment. All right, well, good night, everybody. Good night, all. Good night, Matthew and Grant, and Leah, Ray, Jack, Deborah. That's about it. Pretty tight little group tonight. Sean. Roxy. Now that's good news, okay. And Mary, good night, Mary. West Virginia. I'm scrolling up, so that's anybody wondering what I'm doing if you're still on. Anybody still on? Tell me that. I'm scrolling my last time here. Boo. Who's in know? Does the 3 3s remind you of? Oh, come on! Don't do that. Well, 3 3s to me, Leah, is 3 3 3 is 1/3 of a whole, and what's outside of 3 3 3? 6 6 6, judgment, bad, evil. So 3 3 3 is there's some supernatural designation to safety. I see it as designate safety, healing, refuge, Goshen, a safe haven. So I see it as being very descriptive and reminiscent or indicative of the Ozark Plateau. The Ozark Plateau is two facing 120 degree angles of arc of angles from the north and from the south. So, and I've measured it with a quick angle, which is a construction thing. 120 degrees on my computer, and it's so it forms this gigantic, almost perfect diamond. Sometimes it looks like a perfect diamond. So I think at creation it was a perfect diamond. Been rounded up a little bit by the Mississippi and the Missouri, but anyway, yeah. So 333, that it's in my phone number. Notice that 417-988-0333. It's in my phone number. I didn't pick that phone number. I thought when I got that phone number, I was like, that's weird because my family, we got a bunch of cell phones. One for my son, my daughter, my wife, and under a friend got it for us under his name, and everybody that got phones got local exchange. Every cell phone, every house, every business was 276. Blah 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 blah. So I get 988-0333, which is a Springfield number. Why did I get didn't upset me, but I was like, why did I get a long distance number and everybody's got a local number? That's just goofy. So anyway, years later, I'd read this book by Alan Moen. The title was Noah's Ark: Discovering the Science Behind Man's Oldest Mystery. And I'll tell the story again some other time, but in full. But I'll just try to quick recap this here. The book was about the fact that this guy was a map guy, NASA, whatever, map guy, cartographer. And he noticed that on the border of Canada and North Dakota, there was a area that stood out like a sore thumb to him. It was weird. He started looking at it and studying it, and he realized that he believed it had a geometric shape to it. It was 1/3 of a pie. 1/3 of a pie. 1/3 of a pie. Yeah, 1/3. 120 degree angle. Here, okay. I can't. My fingers aren't flexible. They're not rubber, so I can't do it. And 1/3 of a pie. And it was even rounded on like a pie. And also on my phone at the time, I had a Droid Razor Max. I can't see it now. I've never been able to see it again. But on my phone, I could clearly see two 1/3 pies. Now, one was smaller than the other one was bigger. And his discussion in the book was that to prevent a flood, you would want to be somewhere where it cannot flood. So this Turtle Mountain is at the center of the North American continent. Every river runs away from it. There are no rivers nearby it. It cannot possibly flood. And not only at the center, away from where all water runs away from it. From that point, water either goes into the Hudson Bay, Lawrence Seaway, Atlantic Ocean, Gulf of Mexico, or Pacific Ocean. Nothing can run near or on or to that area. And then at the center, there's this big, huge 1/3 of a pie. Two of them, one about 30 miles wide, one 50 miles wide. And I could see these on my phone very clearly that there were two very distinct pie-shaped formations. And his contention was that they were artificially built by someone who didn't want to who wanted to prevent people from dying in a flood. Well, the Mandan Indians there, local Mandan, I've talked to some of them. The Mandan Indians there have stories in their tribe, going back to the Great Spirit, the Great Turtle in the Sky was doing this. And there's a woman was going to be falling out of the sky. And she needed a soft landing place, a soft landing place. How many times have I heard that? I need a soft landing place, Jerry. I need a soft landing place, Jerry. I want to provide a soft landing place for people. That's what I want to do. Well, we discovered when the woman was falling to the sky, and there wasn't big enough, so they had to build it bigger. So you can see a 30 and a 50-mile arc of angle, artificially built plateau, 1,500 feet higher than the rest of the area. So there's one in the center of Africa. There's one in the center of Australia. There's one in the center of, theoretically, Amazon, South America, but you can't tell because it's so jungly there. There's another one. Africa. In the center of Africa, in the exact center of Africa, there's one of these. It's 200 miles, not 50. There's one in China and there's one in Australia. And presumably there's one in South America. So at the center of all the continents, as this guy could tell, there is one of these artificially built plateaus. My voice is going, good night, everybody. So that's what the 333 designates the Ozark Plateau. It designates safety, healing, refuge. And I'll tell another story about that some other time. Good night. Yeah. So, real quick. So one time, a lady was driving she got in touch with me, and I was selling salt, sea salt, right? And let me go ahead and get a sip of water or something before I do. And she said, I want to buy a salt. I said, we'll just stop by on her way she's driving from Arkansas to Kansas City for a dental appointment, right? So, yeah, come on by. Well, she didn't come by in the morning when she said she was gonna. So I thought, well, that's probably a cell phone number. So I texted it and I said, hey, if you want to come by, come this evening on the way back, maybe you can stop by for dinner. So I'm in the bathtub, and we had rules in our house. We had a very small house. One time, my wife's sister gave her a bunch of door handles, the kind you just slap down the lever thing. You just slap them. And I said, oh, isn't that really nice of Leah? She gave us door handles for all of our towels, for every towel in our house. Yeah, most of the doors in our house were towels because we didn't have any room for doors. It was so small, so tight quartered, you didn't have room for a door. But the bathroom had a door. That's the only room that had a door was the bathroom. Okay, so I'm in the bathtub, and there was a toilet was over here, and the bathtub was 90 degrees to it. So if someone if you're in the bathtub and somebody needed to come in to use the bathroom, they'd knock and you'd say, come on in, and you'd pull the curtains over and they'd come in. My daughter knocked, and I said, yeah, somebody's on the phone for you. So she handed me the phone, and I put my hand out, thing she gives it to me. And I talked to the lady. She goes, yeah, I'll come by for dinner, come by and get the salt. And I said, okay. I said, hey, I got to tell you something. I said, you don't know me, I don't know you. The only thing I know about you is that you want to come by and get salt, and I know your phone number. And that's it. I don't know your politics. I don't know your religion. I don't know if you believe in anything, if you believe in anything at all. I said, but your phone number has 3 3s in it. I can almost remember it to this day because it had 3330. And I said, but I want to tell you that 333 to me designates a very specific thing: healing, safety, refuge. And she said, oh, well, yeah, I have a ministry. It's called the Elisha House Ministry. Elisha House Ministry. She said it's a ministry for pastors to go in and rest up and heal. And she said, I'd like to have you and your wife come down here and be free of charge. So we never made it. Got divorced instead, but oh well, such is life. Would have been nice. And I was trying to get my wife to go to she told me about a ministry down there too, Sozo Ministry, which is about saved, healed, delivered, And I would try to get my wife to that one or Ancient Paths, because as a child, she said, what happens is people are molested or just something very traumatic happens at childhood and it destroys them for the rest of their life. And that's what happened to my wife. She was molested as a child at 3 years old. And, so I was trying to get her to a ministry, and that would have been right by the ministry. There's a ministry right there. Could have stayed there and done it, but no, Jezebel had other plans. Evil spirits do not like to let go of people that they have control over. I see her as a little girl in prison, you know. I keep envisioning that door opening up and her being set free, but I'm hoping someday that'll happen. Anyway, so yeah, so I told this woman, I said 333 means safety, healing, refuge, you know, and she said, yeah, that might. So she had a ministry for a refuge, a place of refuge, a house of healing for ministers, for pastors who've been. She offered me to go down there. I was like, oh, that was so cool. So anyway, okay, good night. Hallelujah. Last little tidbit of a story there. Good night. That's a lot of 333s, yeah. 33 years and 3 months. Yep, that's interesting. Abraham saw 3 men under the tree, told his wife to make 3 measures of flour to bake for them. Probably 3 something else, 3 measures of water too. So yeah, 333. Yeah, it's very, very. See, and then that was refuge. He was giving them refreshment. Yeah, hallelujah. Oh, and Leah, yeah, if you're still on, the amazing thing is that I read that book, right, by about Noah's Ark, 333. And I had seen that the Ozark, I knew the Ozark Plateau was 122, 120-degree arcs of angle. So I called this guy up. This is a long story. I don't know if I want to get into it. Something my voice is about going, but I'll get it out here. So briefly, no rabbit trails. Okay, so I was so awed by the book that I wrote a review. You can go online and read it under Amazon or any other like 8 books. I posted under every single place that I can find the Heritage book. I posted my review of the book, and then I posted an addendum to that review, telling about a 333 incident with this lady that said, what does 333 mean? I go to the gas station, I get 333. I look at the clock in the morning, it's 333. I look at the clock in the car in the afternoon, it's 333. I get a loaf of bread and milk, and it's 333. What does 333 mean? What does 333 mean? What does 333 mean? And I said, well, it means safety, ark, healing, refuge. It means the Ozark Plateau, and you're here. And she by the time she's saying, what does it mean? Let's see her hands, she's getting very animated. Her hands are up in the air. She was almost screaming. I said, what does 333 mean? And I said, ark, healing, safety, refuge. And I said, you're here. You made it. And she fell. She was like struck, And Lori was standing facing her, and she fell right into Lori's arm. She caught Lori strong, and this guy was small, and she caught her. It's so cool. So anyway, she started crying and everything. But so anyway, I wrote this review. About 9 months later, I woke up one morning. I'd like to have a hard copy of that book. I have the Kindle edition. I read it on Kindle, and I had called him about 9 months prior. A phone number I thought was him, and I didn't know if it was, and I never got an answer. So I called the number up again, and the lady answered the phone. I said, I don't know, I may have the wrong number, and if so, I apologize. I said, but my name is Jerry Diamond, and I'm trying to get a hold of Alan Moen. He's sitting right here. So she hands in the phone. I said, my name is Jerry Diamond. He goes, yeah, I know who you are. You can't know who I am. He goes, yeah, I did. I just read your review. He said, my wife and I just yesterday, she was sitting here at my shoulder like she is now, and I just got on Amazon to see how my book was doing, and we read your review of the book. I'm like, oh, cool, wow. He said, you got my phone number. Give me your phone number. I gave him my phone number, and he goes like, your phone number has 333 in it. And I'm like, yeah, it does. I never knew that. All that 12 years, I hadn't even realized it and never thought of it, And the whole time I read the book, for 9 months from the time I read the book, I never thought about the 333 until he pointed it out. I'm like, well, it is. So I asked him, I said, have you noticed that the Ozark Plateau is 2 facing opposing 333 angles, 120-degree angles? And he goes, yes, I did. And he goes, and do you know that if you draw a line between the bottom corner to the right corner, to the top, from the bottom to the top corner, it goes right to Turtle Mountain? And I said, yeah, I said, no, that's really awesome. I said, what does that mean? He goes, I don't know, but it sure is interesting. I thought, yeah, you're right. It sure is interesting. So I don't know. One of those crazy questions I'd like to have an answer to someday, Lord. All right, good night. My voice is gone. Good night, everybody. prayed for you, Leah. God bless. Bye-bye. And Jack.